You ready? Let's go. 2-minute daily Devo for Thursday, April 15th. I'm in the Contemporary English Version today, and our verse of the day comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 6. Let me give a little context here before we get into it. Jesus here is giving us some instructions about how to do certain things. He starts out in the first part of the chapter about giving. And we all know that we should give and we should, tithe and do all that kind of stuff. But he says this, and he's talking really to the Pharisees. The Pharisees was a group of religious people that followed all these rules, but they didn't do it with the right spirit and the right heart. And he talks about giving. He says, hey, when you do good deeds, don't try to show off. Don't try to do it in front of people, right? When you give to the poor, don't blow a horn and a trumpet saying, hey guys, look at me. I'm about to give a whole bunch of money to the poor. He then talks about how when you pray, and this is towards our verse of the day, he says, when you pray, don't be like those show-offs that love to pray and stand on the street corners and pray at the top of their lungs so that everybody can see and hear what they're praying about. And here's what our verse of the day in verse 6, he says this, when you go to pray, go into a room alone and close the door. Pray to your Father in private. He knows what is done in private and will reward you. Jesus is, like I said, really going against the Pharisees because they were all about show. They were all about making sure that every other person that they were doing anything in front of saw what they were doing. But God says, hey, it's not about that. It's about you and me. It's about you spending time with me in prayer. Go into your room, go into a place that's just you, get into a place where you can talk to God, and it's just about the relationship. We're not trying to show off when we're praying. We're not trying to make a big deal like, hey, look at me, everybody. Look at all the big words that I can use. Look at all these fancy words, because Jesus goes into to show the disciples exactly how to pray. And he says, it's not about rambling on and on and on and saying a bunch of words. It's about a simple conversation with your Heavenly Father. This is what it's about. So as you think about that, I want you to think about that today as you head out. As you're out in the world and you got a time maybe to spend a few moments in prayer, it's just between you and God. And it's not about or be concerned with anybody else and what they're doing. All right? That's it, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.